Park, PARC. And it is really, I can't even describe it. It was created by Ricky Boscarino, who's an amazing artist and sculptor. And the amount of tile work he has done in this, it's a mansion, it's a castle. It's just fabulous. Anyway, if you're coming, just meet us at the Triversity Center, 12:15, or at Luna Park itself at 12:45. Okay. Big shout out to Catskill Pride for honoring me at their gala this past Saturday night. What a beautiful experience. Incredible community awards went out to a number of us, and I got the award for activism, which really meant a lot. And thank you, Catskill Pride. Continue to do what you're doing. You know, those of you who know about us at Triversity, we rely on these organizations, especially in the more rural areas. We are the grassroots, the nuts and bolts that make things happen and that create communities. So if you're coming to us from anywhere in the country and you're part of a small LGBTQ organization, please get volunteers, do whatever you can, because these are the organizations, right, that are holding things up. So I said my piece. Now, very excited about my guest tonight. Very excited because the last time he was on Triversity Talk, I'm sorry, I have to bring this up. First of all, he's like, you'll know him from the airwaves. He's an incredible singer. He's a known entity. And yet when we tried to do this StreamYard show the last time, which was a couple of years ago, he was in a hotel room and we didn't have a Wi-Fi connection. I kid you not. So I was really, really happy to get him back here again tonight. And I'll tell you why. July 4th, he is having an amazing show at Green Room 42. It's called An Unforgettable 4th, an American celebration of Nat King Cole. And if you know the one person who is singing Nat King Cole like nobody's business, with a passion, with a wit, who can just bring you back to that amazing voice, it is the one and only Jordan Von Haslow.
Wendy!
Oh my God, you're here! Oh my God.
Oh my God, it's so good to see you. It's been too long.
No, it's been too long, but look at it. It like worked. Like, how many devices did we need to use tonight?
Oh my goodness. And the thing is, I don't even know what got it to work. I just kept trying to do phone, computer. And then finally I did computer, and all of a sudden I could see myself, and I said, okay. And I just kind of slowly, I didn't want to touch anything. Like, I didn't want to touch anything. And it's like,
Jordan, I see your fingers going through that. On your hands now.
I shall.
It's a blessing that that you're here and that this worked. Listen, right before you came on, I got an alert on my phone that there's power outages.
Oh, you're like, oh my God.
Oh my God. I know, right? Figures. But there's something about our energy together that is both magical and scary.
Right?
You're here. You are back in New York, and you've got this amazing show coming up.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so I'm so happy. So I've actually been touring with this Nat King Cole show for a long time. So as you know, was I still living in New York when we first met, or was I living in Los Angeles and at the time, like going back and forth?
New York, and this was like one of your first go-arounds in New York because you weren't doing the Nat King Cole show yet. It was
right.
That you had just started. You just left Sony. I think that's
okay. So that was maybe right when I was like still, because there was a period of time when I moved to Los Angeles for the Sony job that I was commuting back and forth every week.
That's when I met you. That's when we first met. I think it was on the rooftop
of the Met.
That Friday night.
Yes. And then we were talking because we both lived uptown, and we went, I think you, Alan, and I went to Eli's. Was it either Eli's or St. Ambrose? One of those two. And we had dinner. We
went to Eli's, I think.
Yeah.
And, and we went to the rooftop on the Met, that Friday night thing, which is so great. And I met you through our amazing friend, Deanne. Shout out to Deanne, who does so much work for the Historical Society in Astoria, as well as Carrie. Deanne's just an extraordinary person, but she brought us together. And here we are. But you've had a million freaking lives from that night I met you on the rooftop. You were still involved with Sony at that point.
Yeah.
So you were an executive. And I looked at you and I thought, well, that's showbiz right there. But I guess he really enjoys his job being an executive.
Well, so what happened was, because I've always been a performer since I was like a little kid, like
Right.
not to age myself, but like I started out doing catalogs for like
Sears Roebuck.
Close, Montgomery Ward, and
close.
Woolworths.
So you come out of Chicago.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
you were a kid model in Chicago. I know you did not have dreads down to here. I've known you, of course you did, but I know, you were like the kid, very adorable kid catalog model.
Yeah, and then I started doing theater, and then I went to an arts conservatory. I went to an arts high school, the Chicago Academy for the Arts. As a matter of fact, this event on the 4th, some of the money is going to go to the newly formed Chicago Academy for the Arts Alumni Association. So
Okay, I love that because that's payback for what they did for you.
Exactly. And then I moved to New York as a singer. And I think you had Adam Barta on the show not too long ago. He was. Are
you friends with?
I'm very good friends, and I was actually going to call in on that day, but then I forget. There was some reason I couldn't because I was just gonna dive bomb into the show.
That would be great.
But I moved here to do a musical, and Adam was in the musical. So Adam was one of the first people I met in New York, and we've been buddies ever since.
I love the 6 Degrees of Separation. What was the musical that you did?
It was called Mad About the Boy, Gay Songs of the 1920s.
Get out. Okay, I'm stopping you right there. That is like, how fabulous is that?
It was so fabulous. And we had to sing all these amazing songs. It was just a musical review.
How perfect.
And it was part of what was called the Chip Defoe Invitational. So Chip Defoe, who was the theater and music critic of the New York Post at the time, decided, I want to throw a theater festival and name it after myself. And so for like a 2 or 3 week period, he had all of these shows. Some of them were a couple of them were his own shows that he had written. Some were shows that he were producing. And then he also had people who brought in their own shows. And one of my dear friends who is in Wicked now. He's actually we went to high school together in Chicago. He's been in Wicked for like 20 years. But he's the dance captain of Wicked. He was going to NYU Tisch at the time as a dance major, and he happened to be back in Chicago and was like, "Oh, Chip Defoe, this guy Chip Defoe, he wants me to be in his show, but I'm not going to be able to." And I was like, I've been trying to find a way to go to New York. I'm like, well, see if I can do it. And Chip was like, yeah, come on out. And that's how I moved to New York. And I started meeting him.
What a great story. First of all, I love that it was gay songs in the 1920s.
Yes, gay songs of the 1920s.
Gays in the 1920s. Wasn't that like gay wasn't invented? I'm just joking. I love that because the songs had to be, were they pretty campy?
Well, they were there were a lot of different songs. Like they were campy women. I used to remember masculine women, feminine men. Nobody knows what basket they're in. Those masculine women, feminine men. And then there were like rally songs, like, the Lavender song, we're not afraid to be queer and different. If that means hell, then hell will take our chance. They're also straight, uptight, upright, and rigid. Yeah, march in lockstep, we prefer to dance. They see a world of romantic pleasure. All they can see is sheer banality. Lavender nights are our greatest treasure, where we can be just who we want to be. Yeah.
Oh, these are catchy. Jordan, after our show, can you send me where I can find some of these? Because I'm always looking I need campy music. when I perform because I'm not a singer. I need something with fun lyrics, and nobody notices that I can't sing.
Well, look it up because he did a recording. I'm not on the recording, but
Okay.
he did a recording, and a lot of the songs that we did were on the recording, and there were some new ones. A couple of the members of the cast are on it, and then he brought in some other folks as well. So look up "Mad About the Boy," gay songs of the 1920s.
Okay, I'm writing it down. Mad About the Boy. That is so cool. Thank you. When did I come to New York? See, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah. And that's I'm sorry, go for it.
No, the fact that you and Adam Barta, who was just on this show, Adam, as you know, now is with the Bad Judies, but Adam as Mercy B does the most incredible saxophone and electrical violin and has become a wonderful entertainer. I love that the two of you started out together. I love those kinds of stories.
Absolutely.
Because you know what? A lot of people, New York City, chews people up and spits them out. And certainly in the whole drag performance area, it's become a dime a dozen, right? And there's so many talented kids there that I know will not get their shot because there's so many talented performers. These conservatories are cranking them out like Grant took Richmond. The amount of people that I've had on the show, I just did a show for Catskill Pride. I was getting an award, but our MC, of course, was Missy Piles, who I've been trying to get on this show.
I love her.
Missy is a wonderful MC, great lip syncer, but also incredible singer. She's a Broadway singer and funny as hell. And I bring this up because there's so much competition out there in the LGBTQ community in terms of talent. Yet you, Jordan, have found a way to forge your own path, which, by the way, I would expect nothing less from you.
You said something actually very interesting because you were like, the conservatories are throwing kids out left and right. Well, here's the problem, and this is the problem with schools. And this goes to the conservatories, just the non-conservatory art schools. The problem is they focus all on talent. And talent matters, yes. But once you get out of the little town you're in, you come to New York, you go to LA, you go to Las Vegas, everybody's talented. So being talented isn't enough. And where I think that the conservatories and the art schools lack is teaching the students about the business of building a career and the strategy behind building a career and networking and how important your network is. As a matter of fact, so much of my career on the corporate side when I was working in the studio system was in talent acquisition, talent management, organizational development. And I actually, I'm invited, I guest lecture once a semester at NYU Tisch. And I go in and my whole, spiel is about network. Your network is everything. And it starts here. You know what my joke is? I think I want to write a book about it because my joke is. I'm
going to suggest that. I mean, you go on, but I want to get to that with you because I have thoughts for you too. But go on.
Well, because my whole thing, you know how in the last year, everyone makes fun of Nepo babies, right? Nepo babies. Oh, these Nepo babies have blah, blah, blah. But it's like, okay, what is a Nepo baby? A Nepo baby is someone who was just born into a network.
Exactly.
Well, guess what?
I think when people talk about that, right? Years ago, they did not use that network to the degree that they do now. They would go off and do other things. Almost every son and daughter of a music person or of an actor person ends up right back in the business. So, I think that that's where people are coming from. But to your point, you're 100% right. You're born into it. You might as well use it because it is really hard.
And at the end of the day, if you're smart and you're nice to people, we're all Nepo babies. Do you know what I'm saying? I know you. And if there's if I want to try to get into something that you're a part of or your network, that's me being a Nep. I have this long relationship with Aunt Wendy. Hey, Aunt Wendy, can you make an introduction to so-and-so for me? And that's what I tell them. I'm like, and you're starting. I'm like, here you are at what is arguably the greatest film school in the country. And you're sitting here with your cohorts. Some of these people 20 years ago are going to be the most successful people in the world. Some of them might not be in the business. So this is your network. This is your family. This is your Nepo. This is where you become a Nepo baby. So 10 years later, you're like, wait, remember I took screenwriting with that person 10 years ago. Hey, cousin, how are you? You know, we're all Nepo babies if we choose to be.
Well, yeah, and I love that you're teaching them that, because you're right. NYU Tisch is a very expensive school. Everyone who gets in there is super talented. So what are you going to do to set yourself apart from everything else? How are you going to use the network? And I really believe now more than ever that you have to have that network. I don't believe it can happen randomly, although let's fast forward from when you started with Sony, right? And talent and acquisition. Let's fast forward to now, when people are actually making entire careers because they take off on TikTok. TikTok didn't exist back then.
Well, can I tell you, I finally, so just 5 days ago, Carl and I, so Carl works for me. Carl is like my right hand. Cool dude.
Cool Carl.
We met here in New York. He lives in Iowa right now, and he does everything. Like, he helps me book my guests for my shows. He does my editing. He actually makes a cameo. He won't be doing it on July 4th, but like when we were doing the show in Las Vegas, he actually makes a cameo as a gondolier in the show.
I love it.
I should have sent you a picture, but
picture.
What was I? Where was I going with that?
We were talking about Nepo babies.
Nepo babies. So working at Sony. So I was here in New York. I was singing. I was performing. I got married, and I was married for 10 years.
How did I forget that?
So have I. But you know what? But honestly, it's because at this point I've been divorced for longer than I was married.
Right.
Honestly. Right. So we were together for 10 years, and we had a lovely life. We had a beautiful apartment in Carnegie Hill. We used to go to P-Town every single summer, and we had a wonderful life until it wasn't. And so we got divorced, and it was nasty. It was not a nice divorce.
It was an ugly divorce.
It was a very ugly divorce. I did get alimony, but it was like nasty.
Who got the dog?
I did. We had cats, and I got both of them. I got the one.
You got one.
Because we had to put one down. And that was part of something that kind of really made it, that whole experience. That's what we could do a whole show on that. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is I got divorced, and it's like, oh crap, because he worked in financial services. So I'm like, oh crap, I need to like get a job. And so I started working at Time Warner here at Time Warner Center, and I got recruited to Sony, and that's how I moved out to LA. And then I've worked for every major studio except for Paramount. So I get to a place where I'm like, all right, I haven't performed in so long. I miss singing. Well, it was 2019. I just so happened that year was Nat King Cole's 100th birthday.
Yes. It was right before the pandemic. I remember I couldn't get to the show. You did it on the West Side, Upper West.
Upper West Side, at a place that's no longer there, called the West End Lounge.
Right, the West End Lounge, right.
Mm-hmm. And I was still living in Los Angeles, so I was like flying back and forth. And then I got into a relationship with this Dominican guy who lived in the Bronx. Not because I really liked him, but it was like free housing in New York. Isn't that horrible?
Oh my God. Well, we are letting it all out. Jordan von Haslow has no shame.
Look, you gotta do what you gotta do. And so it kept running. It ran for 5 months, and it got nominated for 3. It was called Celebrating Nat King Cole. Yeah. It got nominated for 3 Broadway World Awards: Best Tribute Show, Best Jazz Vocalist, and Best Music Director. And my music director was the fabulous Matt Baker. I don't know if you know Matt Baker. He does a lot of work.
I know Matt Baker's name. I maybe I know it because Matt Baker's been director for other people I know.
Yeah, totally. He's in that cabaret jazz scene. He's really big with the Blue Note crowd, like the Jim Caruso's and all that. He's a big. Right. He's really in with that crowd. So, anyways, I could have kept it running. Like I kept it running for 5 months. He got the nominations, and then I got a tap on my shoulder, sort of like when I when I went to Sony from a showroom in Vegas and said, "Hey, would you like to do a show here in Vegas?" And so I teamed up with a singer who's now here in New York, and we put together this wonderful show called Pure Imagination, which was filled with standards and like more contemporary theater. So we did like a little bit of everything. And we opened at the Tuscany Casino and Hotel in the Copa Room, which is their showroom, in I want to say October of 2019. And so that's the only reason I closed Nat King Cole. And everything was wonderful. We're making a wonderful splash in Vegas. And then
sure, they loved you.
COVID happened. COVID happened.
Yep.
And and the hotel shut down, and so that was kind of the end of that. And so then for a really, really long time, it's like, okay, I guess live entertainment is over. What are we gonna do? So I camped out. I rented a house in Palm Springs, and I camped out and spent a lot.
We've come very far from the apartment you hustled with the Dominican guy in the Bronx. I'm doing the timeline here, Jordan. You amaze me. You are a survivor. You are going to survive at a very high level. Come on. I mean, look at the stage picture here. Now we're in Palm Springs.
Now we're in Palm Springs. Yes.
I remember when you were in Palm Springs. That's when I tried to stream you that other time and you were in a hotel.
I was in I was back in Los Angeles. Yes. I was in Los Angeles in a hotel because I had gotten rid of my apartment because I was going to be in Vegas. I was going to be the next Wayne Newton. But so I'm sitting here thinking, all right, what am I going to do? Vegas is over. I mean, Vegas is over because, this is like the middle of COVID where no one knew what was going to happen. Like, okay, live entertainment's dead. So much is that.
Right.
I wasn't working in the studio system anymore. I had given up my place in Los Angeles, and I had a fabulous place in Los Angeles. And
I'm sure.
And I'm like, well, do I want to go back to Los Angeles? Well, you know what? Los Angeles is not a place to be of a certain age, single, and not have anything going on in your career.
Oh, it's deadly.
So I'm like, okay, so no, well, I guess I'll go back home to New York and make a brand new start of it. And so I
sing the rest of it. I want to hear New York.
And so I came back to New York, and it was still COVID. It was like, and like, we were starting to get vaccines and things, and I was still trying to figure out like kind of what to do because I'd made this commitment. I'm going back to performing completely full time, but things were still not open in the same way.
But they were still social. Didn't you feel worried because this is like a not a great time to like trying to figure it out?
Oh, it was horrible. Well, no, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I had been working in the studio system for a long time. Plus, I had these very successful shows. I had this very successful run in Las Vegas and here in New York. And then if you recall, unemployment, they gave all that extra money on top of unemployment. So I had
right.
So I was able to apply, I was eligible for unemployment because of COVID.
I did exactly what you did, but this is how broken I was. When all the actors were applying for unemployment, the site kept crashing. I freaked out, and I'm going to share with you something I haven't confessed to so many people. I called up the disabled line at unemployment, and I got a lovely lady on the phone, and I said, I don't know if I'm eligible, but I'm having a nervous breakdown, and I really need this money because everything I'm doing was canceled. She said to me, dear, I want you to calm down. I'm going to help you get this unemployment because I'm going to fill it out for you while we're on the phone. Yes. Thank you. That was our bread and butter at that point.
Yeah. And the thing, what you're talking about, that's what you have to do because so I was still a California resident. So I was applying for unemployment in California. And the lines would be this. What my trick was, I would call, because how they have the different lines of the different languages.
Yes, of course.
I would call the Vietnamese line.
Stop it.
I didn't call the Vietnamese because I'm like, how many Vietnamese people can be like, of course, the Spanish line and the English line.
Right.
And I wouldn't have to wait. And they'd be like, da, 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 whatever, they say. And I'm like, hi, I'm calling about this. And then they start talking to me in English and I would just move forward. So that's my call the Vietnamese
that is like
lane.
really smart. Now you gave me an idea, just like in general, when they give you language choices and you don't want to. Jordan, you're amazing. You really are. You're a good tap dancer. My story was really good, but you outdid me. So yeah, so you avoided the way I did, the computer crashing, all the waits, all the filled out forms and all of that. You sailed right through and you got your money.
Exactly. So I came back to New York City and still, everything was still up in the air because it was still the middle of COVID. Live performance, particularly in New York. I mean, like Vegas had finally started to open because they weren't they weren't caring about masks and things like that. But New York was still very much like, it's like the middle of December and it's like, okay, you can come and sit outside and eat, even though it's 32 degrees and, so then it's like, all right, well, I guess I need to start working again. And I just happened to be like on LinkedIn and I saw this woman who I knew from years ago when I worked for like 20 years beforehand, when I worked for a search firm and I had placed her at Johnson & Johnson. And she was like, hey, I'm looking for someone to join my team at Disney. So I texted her and I was like, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I gave you a job, bitch, time, margin call.
This is COVID payback time. Amazing.
So I started working for Disney again, for Disney streaming specifically. And it was like a really, really cool job. I was responsible for all of the artists, like the visual artists. So it was streaming. So like, how you see the commercials that say like, get your Hulu ESPN bundle. So the artists who do those. And also on the brand side, so the artists, like if you go to like any of the actual franchise brands like Marvel, Pixar, all of the artwork on like their social media pages, I was responsible for hiring those graphic designers and visual artists. And so it was so
what a
cool.
Great job. Yeah.
So cool. And at Disney.
Yeah.
And at Disney. It did, and it also gave me a chance because I was there. I wasn't there for a really long time, and I'll tell you why. But it gave me a chance to like really get back on my feet. I was paid very handsomely.
No, I was incredible. Look at the connections. Once again, we're talking about the connections.
The network. That's what being a nepo baby is about.
Yeah,
hey,
and there you are. You're a nepo baby.
So, I'm getting things together. I start working with my writer. There's a gentleman who I've known forever. We actually used to be a member of, like years ago, we both were members of a theater troupe down on the Jersey Shore. His name is Jared Eberline. He does he writes all of my shows. And in fact, he just actually moved to Philadelphia. He is the head of, at this school, this high school, and he's the head of what is the oldest running high school theater department in the country. Like they started in like 1875 or something like that. And they've been running consistently since.
Oh, very cool.
So I'm going down at the end of the month and we're going to stage the show. But so I had him, because I was starting to work on new material and stuff and new shows. And I hired an assistant. Like it was like things were going awesome. And then Bob Iger decided to lay 7,000 people off. And so and I was in talent acquisition. So they laid off like all of the talent acquisition people basically because they were going to start going into layoff mode. So it's like, okay, crap. Well, that's okay. I got a chance to get back on my feet.
You got some money put away.
Let me figure out what to do. And so Vegas, it started opening up again, and I get a call from a friend that I had met when I was doing my residency in Vegas. She now was the booker at the showrooms at this other hotel called the Alexis Park. and they were starting anew. So they have all these residencies, and they do like a lot of like the tribute shows. Like when you think of like the Vegas tribute, like they have an Elvis show and a Motown show and a Selena show and a Frank Sinatra show.
And a Liberace show.
Well, they don't have a Liberace show. But they did produce the Liberace set, like his 100th birthday celebration or whatever it was.
They did do that. Right.
They did do that. But she says, we're starting this new series called the Playhouse series, and we want to use it to kind of test out new things for potential, bringing them in as residencies in one of our rooms. Because at that time they had I think they had showrooms in like 3 or 4 different hotels. And she's like, I want you to open up the series, and I want you to open up the series with Nat King Cole.
Wow.
So I went back to Vegas.
Like a gift that was dropped at your feet.
Yes. And so the week, and it just so happened, so his birthday was March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, 1919. Well, the week that my show was, it was a Thursday, and his birthday that year was on like Wednesday or Friday. So we took the show, right? So I took the show. So when I told you, when I did it here in New York, it was just Matt Baker and me. So because it was a small, intimate room, so it was just me and piano. So we expanded it. And so I took it back to Vegas, and I had piano, bass, drums, guitar, and trumpet. And same show, we judged up the script a little bit, but we called it Happy Birthday, Nat King Cole, because Brilliant. Of and so we had an engagement there. It went well. 2 months later, they brought us back for another engagement, and that went well. And so now we've just been kind of like, figuring out like, okay, where are we going to take this? Because the goal is to grow it to be an orchestra show, so we can do performing arts centers. And
right. And so you want how many piece orchestra?
I want it to be the type of show that it's like, oh, I'm going to play with like the Pittsburgh Symphony.
That's what I'm going to do it. So those are massive. And I have seen recording artists that have done that. It's brilliant. And you have to have a lot of weight as a vocalist to do that. You have that weight, Jordan, and you have that personality. I think that is a brilliant target for you.
Yeah, and it's and the money's really good.
You sent us a clip. I want to play the clip so people can hear this glorious voice.
Oh yeah, I did this. Do you know Broadway Sessions?
No. But
Broadway Sessions is it's like a monthly jam. It's all Broadway people. It happens on a Monday.
Oh,
so
I love it. Sure.
one of my dear friends, she worked with them and was like the associate producer. And every February they do a Black Broadway Sessions. And so it's all like Black artists from Broadway and off Broadway and such, and just singing songs. And so this was last year's Black Broadway session. And it was at the West 72nd Street, the Triad. So this is at the Triad. Yeah. It was
Triad. Great.
It's so much fun. So yeah.
Oh, cool. So Broadway Sessions.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go.
There's a boat that's leaving soon for New York. Come with me, that's where we belong. Sister, you and me, we can live the high life in New York. Come with me, nothing can go wrong. I'll buy you the swellest mansion on Upper Fifth Avenue. Then in Harlem we'll go strutting, There'll be nothing too good for you. I'll dress you in silk and satins and all the latest Paris styles. You'll be forgetting, there won't be fretting, there'll be nothing but smiles. Come along with me, come along, 'cause that's the place to be. Did I mention that I'm a ham? To be. To be. I think they're ready for us to take them home. There's a boat that's leaving soon for New York. Come with me. That's where we belong. Come on, black people. Here's where we belong.
So fabulous, really. I can't wait to hear you do Nat King Cole.
Oh my God, it's gonna be so fun. And you know, have you been to Green Room 42?
Oh, of course. A lot of my
right.
friends perform there. I love that. I love that space.
Yeah, it's a fabulous space, and you know they have that terrace. So the show's at 7. So then after the show,
You'll do the thing on the terrace with
we
drinks.
can go right across and have drinks and watch the. I mean, we're on the west side, so there'll be the New Jersey fireworks. But still,
we would be able to see fireworks. I'm going to do my darndest, by the way, to be there. And we would be able to see the fireworks.
yeah. But I think that because I was talking to Ben Remelauer, who's the director of programming there, and I was asking because I was like trying to figure it out because I was thinking because when he offered me the date, he was like, "How'd you like to do 4th of July?" And I'm like, is anyone in town on the 4th of July? And I'm like, okay, well. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Screw it. Let's do it. And I was asking him, I'm like, well, we can maybe do fireworks on the terrace. He's like, yeah. And he was explaining how because the Macy's moved everything over to the East River now.
Right.
So, so what you have here is I think the Jersey City fireworks.
But those are fine. Okay, are we going to be snobby about the fireworks?
No, we just need to make sure people are there. We need to make sure people are there. And I was even laughing because, I was like, oh my God, what a day. Do I want to do that date? Well, if no one shows up, then I can blame the date. Because, but I was like looking at all the other showrooms, right? I was looking at the Carlisle. I was looking at 54 Below. I was looking at every other showroom is dark that day. So apparently I'm the only schmuck who said, yes, I can sell out 4th of July.
Okay, Jordan, you are the only game in town. That's how you think of yourself, right? And I got to tell you, we are going to have a ton of tourists that are going to be in town looking for entertainment. And it's well known that you can see fireworks from the west side. So there's a million selling points. And I mean, my God, who doesn't love Nat King Cole?
Exactly.
Right. I think on your part, it's going to be really, really brilliant timing.
And it's literally America's 250th birthday. So if you don't come, you're unpatriotic.
Right.
That's as a matter of fact. Can I tell you the first night I did it in Vegas? Remember I told you it was like around his birthday. It was June 19th, which is Juneteenth. And so when I was running around town trying to sell tickets, I'm like, the show's on Juneteenth. So if you don't come, you're racist. I thought it was.
Oh, you're so bad. You sold tickets, so whatever it takes. Listen,
by any means necessary.
Absolutely, whatever it takes. So you know what? This is all very exciting. So the game plan, and no pressure here. After you do the July 4th, there's a lot of venues. A lot of my friends are at 54 Below. Don't Tell Mama. You know all the venues. So do you have a plan, like a rollout?
Yeah, so the rollout, once I do this, I'm going to take it to, it hasn't been announced yet because I'm still negotiating the venue. But at the end of August, I'm taking it to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Cool.
And
Where is
then
Edinburgh? Where is that?
Scotland.
Oh, Edinburgh. Of course,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people.
You're like, is that on Long Island?
I'm like, Edinburgh. I'm like, who is Edinburgh? What is this? Yes, so you're going to Edinburgh Fringe Festival. I know a lot of people that are there.
We're going to do that. And then I'm working. So outside, like I don't work in the studio system anymore. Outside of singing, I also work as a development producer and a film producer. So I have a few projects that I'm working on right now. Right. So I'm working on a really amazing film called Charlotte's Moor, and it's by this really, really talented writer who's based in Cornwall, England. And so on the 2nd, we've booked her at a festival to just kind of build up buzz about it, because we're raising funds for the script right now. And then I'm having talk with the local school to do a reading with the local university. So it's like, I'm going to be there. So the Fringe Festival ends the 31st. So this is what I'm figuring out. I think the last week of August, we're going to do the show at the Fringe Festival. I'm going to go down to Cornwall, and then I'm going to go to London since I'm there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go to Blackpool, and then it'll be time to figure out back here. And then I'm in talks with another venue in Vegas, but I'm really like, I want the Vegas, like I'm really, here's what, like I said, the goal is to keep growing this show until it's like, it's living in like performing arts centers, right?
It's a big goal. That's a big goal.
But it's not unattainable. I'm a Nepo baby.
Jordan, for you, nothing is unattainable, because you're the person that envisions it, and there's nothing that's going to stop you you would not let anything stop you why? Because you want to do it.
Exactly.
That's it. I want to do it. I'm going to make it happen. And that is a really positive force.
Exactly. And so I'm trying to be very thoughtful, because to me, New York and Vegas are very special places. First of all, New York, all I wanted to do when I was a kid, I remember when I was at the Chicago Academy for the Arts, right? We always had like a gala every year. And after 1 year, like there was just a bunch of stuff just sitting in the hall, like a lot of like leftover things that were leftover swag that were for gift bags that were just left over. So they were just like on a table in the hall so we could take it. Well, one of the things, there were like 3 extra copies of Bobby Short's memoir. And I was like maybe like 16 at the time. And I read it and I'm like, this is what I want to do. I'm going to move to New York and I'm going to live and work at the Carlisle for the rest of my life.
First of all, though, let's talk about the Carlisle. This show, the Nat King Cole show, is perfectly suited for a residency at the Carlisle, because I'm a visionary as well, and I'm putting that into your universe. So yeah,
thank you. Yes, thank you.
We're going to put it out there. Now I need you to put some vision in my universe. Okay, I'm auditioning all over the place. If you have films and things that you're working on, remember your friend here.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we can talk. The week of the 14th, one of the projects I'm working on, we're going to do a streamed reading of it, because I'm trying to it's a television show. And so I'm trying to raise awareness of it. And we're going to do a reading. And so, so come and play.
I would love to come and play. Will you give me the information on that?
Yeah. We're still setting it up. It's going to be either like the 14th, 15th, 16th. We're waiting to find out the date. We're waiting to find out the room that we can get, and right. It was scheduled. So like in the next week, it'll be all done. So yeah, come on to NYU.
So, and I get to see you in person as opposed to like, somebody said to me, this whole streaming thing, we're all very flat. We lose our dimension.
100%. Oh, you can't act though, can you? Like it just dawned on. I'm like, wait a second.
You're too funny. Well, guess what? We're at the end. I don't know where the time goes with you. I had a million questions. We talked about a lot of things. I always like to get pictures of my guests at the end. So look right into my camera.
Oh, what should I be like there?
Cool. Thank you. That's gorgeous. I took a whole bunch. I'm so glad that this stream worked. I was really excited to have you on. I love following you, Jordan. You know that. And you've popped in and out of my life for a long time now.
Yeah, yeah. And it's always wonderful when.
No, it's always wonderful, right? When, you know what I say? God damn it, we're still here. You know, I don't know if you remember the drag performer Sweetie, but Sweetie used to say about me, I was like a New York cockroach. You couldn't get rid of me. But it's really the same for you too. You just keep going no matter what. And yeah, that's, you know what, that's what it's all about. We get this life, and what we do with it is up to us, right?
Amen.
Amen. Let me wish you a happy Pride, first of all.
Thank you.
You're coming to Pride. I will be on the float with the Imperial Court of New York.
Awesome.
And we're at the very beginning of the march. I like being on the float. I have to tell you, your dream as a little kid was to be at the Carlisle and Bobby Short. Mine was to be Barbie on the float, going like this. Listen, we're all realizing our dreams, right? So, stay in touch with me. I would like to see you next week. So when we're saying finito, make sure you text me and give me all the particulars, okay?
Absolutely. And an American and an Unforgettable 4th, an American celebration of Nat King Cole is taking place on July 4th at 7 p.m. at the Green Room 42. Tickets are available directly at the Green Room 42's website. Also, you can go to jordanvanhaslow.com and you can find the ticket link there as well.
Right. And you can get the link there. And also I have the poster, which by the way is incredible poster. Whoever did it of Jordan is on my page as well. Jordan, I can't wait to talk to you again. Thank you, everybody who tuned in tonight. We'll be back again next week. Have a good week. Bye-bye.
Bye.